Hey everyone, I'm Mario. Welcome to my first video. In this video, I'll be covering Alan Watts' general themes of his books and giving my own stance on where I think you should begin. I'm not a philosophy nerd. I like to read philosophy a lot, but I'm not really so deep into it. If it were up to me, I would be reading it a lot. And if you're wanting to start out, this is definitely a place you can start out because Alan Watts' books aren't really that hard to read. But yeah, let's begin. The Way of Zen, this work explores Zen Buddhism, its history, principles, and how it can help us live with more mindfulness and clarity in our everyday lives. If you're curious about Eastern philosophy or simply looking for a different perspective on life, this book is definitely something you should give a shot. This book alone was a major influence on my journey into Buddhism and my decision to become a lay practitioner. Not only is it intriguing, but it also has its moments of humor amidst its serious content. It often reminds me of Alan Watts' podcast, to be honest. So yeah, it can be pretty funny, pretty serious, but it's overall very interacting with the reader. And I definitely would give this book a 10 out of 10. All these books are going to be 10 out of 10s, but this is definitely one of my favorites that I think you guys should read, but not the first you should read. So yes. All right. So now diving into the second read, which is called The Book on the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are by Alan Watts. This fascinating read challenges the way we view ourselves and the world around us, offering a more profound perspective on human rationality and our connection to the universe. Watts explores how we as humans fit into the grander scheme of things and why understanding this can not only transform the way we live, but how we have an outlook on life itself. This book has a deep perspective on objective view of life and what we are as sentient beings. When I read this book, I was blown away by how he views us human beings and comparing that in itself to the universe. He definitely has some radical insights on life itself. And my personal anecdote on this book is that it kind of messed me up for a while just because the profound ideas are not ideas, but his observation on life. And it's just crazy. But yes, that's my take for this book. All right, now the third book, we have The Spirit of Zen by Alan Watts. This insightful book dives into the essence of Zen Buddhism and how its teachings can help you find simplicity, clarity, and balance in a chaotic world. Watts does a brilliant job of making Zen accessible and relevant no matter your background. If you're looking for a guide to a more mindful, centered way of living, this is a good place to start. This book teaches us that in any way and anywhere, we can be mindful of what we do and dwell within each present moment, aka being in the present state of Zen, our constant state of Zen. This was actually the first book that I was introduced to when I was 17. I was always listening to Alan Watts on his podcast when I was 12, but it took me about 5 years after that to actually be interested in his books. And I want to say that this is definitely a book that you should read if you are a first-timer. All right, so the last book we have is The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts. This read explores the idea of finding peace in the midst of uncertainty and letting go of our need for constant security. Watts provides yet another perspective on embracing the present moment and finding true contentment despite life's inherent unpredictability. This definitely has to be another one of my favorites by him because of his approach to the constant thoughts that play in your head, the regrets, and the ideas or feelings people can't let go of. It addresses the cycle of self-suffering and offers insight on breaking free from it. So for this book, I would also put it as the second version or the second one you should read. This is just because it's easy and it's not abstract thinking, it's just straightforward. But yeah, these are the 4 books that I given my opinion on, or perspective. Final thoughts.
when considering philosophy and Alan Watts, if you've never read philosophy and you've only listened to podcasts, my recommendation would be to go read something like by one of the first. So like Plato's Apology has Socrates in it. It's very short, 20 pages, and it gives you an idea of how philosophy was seen back then and how it was condoned by others. And it just gives you a broader sense of what philosophy just is. So Alan Watts, though, he's someone who says what he's trying to say, and he doesn't hide it behind all these fancy words like others, like Friedrich Nietzsche does it. Now that's like hard philosophy. Like you have to actually like know the vocabulary, and it just gets a little crazy and agitating at times. But yeah, that's my 4 books for you. It's a small, short list of what you could read. I will be leaving the links in the description of each book. And thank you for watching, and I will be posting another video soon. Alright, peace out. Happy learning.